That guy I mentioned earlier, Hope? Well, looks like he's been having a bit of a problem lately. He's been camping out over at Balmont a couple weeks, but coming back last night, he found his camp turned on its head. Some food was taken, and apparently the place looked like it had been really messed with. I don't know if it was an animal or some tourist troublemakers, but I'm up in Topeka all day and can't look into it. Listen, I know you probably have other plans, but you're in the right neck of the woods, and I'd sure be grateful if you could just stop on by and have a look. Hope showed up here 2 years ago. Said something about getting off the grid. I heard he lost his family in an accident while he was deployed overseas in the Army. Hit the poor guy hard. I guess out here you only need to look out for yourself. It's easier that way. Not the most cheerful fella, to be honest, but he's earned his peace for sure. Let's find out whoever did this.
G'day, mate. How you going? Welcome to our beautiful Emerald Coast. Out here in the bush, both the fauna and the flora are unique and fascinating to observe. Oh, I'm Robert, by the way.
Just call him Robbo. Why do you sound like a tourist guide, Robbo? I'm Sophia. Sure, this region is a beaut, but it's also bloody fragile.
Too true. That's why we're stoked you're here to work with us.
But there's no rule that says you can't have fun at work, eh? You game? Where did the ute drop you off exactly? Anyway, you're not far from my station. Why don't you climb the fire lookout tower that's close by and see for yourself? From there, you'll see clearly where things are.
It may not look like it, but you're on private land. This belongs to Soph and her husband.
We run a station, a farm, and Robbo's own land is north of here.
Australia's a massive country, as you know. So it's not uncommon for folks to own huge properties that sprawl over kilometres.
Across several biomes, even. That's why we need to hire professional hunters like yourself. I reckon you won't get bored. So, how are you holding up at the fire lookout tower? Quite the workout, eh?
Good on you. You almost made it. Once you're up there, take a moment to breathe and enjoy the view. Out here, we have a lot of fire lookout towers. They're really high, so it's quite the workout to get up there. But unfortunately, in the last few years, we need them a lot more than we'd like. The outback. That's one of the first things they think about overseas when they hear Australia.
It's arid and it can be tough out here, especially after the bushfires in the last few years.
But it's also a surprisingly rich ecosystem, home to heaps of unique and sometimes bizarre species.
Did you spot my station from up there? Then please, come and get settled in. Sorry I can't be there to greet you in person today. I'm out on a hunt too.
Red fox. Crafty buggers, aren't they? They were introduced for sport in the 19th century. 30 years later, they'd become an invasive pest species. They're now widespread all over the country.
What is there to say about us? Well, Robbo and I are neighbours.
Neighbours? How about best mates?
Technically, we're also neighbours, Robbo. But yeah, we both grew up here. Our folks owned the 2 stations.
In other words, we became mates because there wasn't anyone else around.
You even lived in Brisbane for a few years after uni to try to get rid of me, but even that wasn't enough.
Too right. We tried everything. A long-distance friendship, crazy jobs, stupid boyfriends.
And jealous girlfriends. As a last resort, we each got married. Nothing worked.
Except one thing. Having a kiddo. That worked wonders. Anyway, let us know when you're over at Soph Station. When you walk out in the open like that, chances are there are like a dozen animals staring at you and thinking, who's that drongo? Feral goats are everywhere in Australia, one of the many species introduced by settlers. Some of them were released or escaped and became feral. Seems we aren't very good at keeping animals in their pens. It's a stubble quail. Resourceful little fella. Did you know it can survive without water if it has access to green foliage? Yeah, that's a roo if ever I seen one. Be careful. Could be tough to hit a vital organ when they're on the move. Outposts are like a safe haven in the wilderness. Some of them might not be very fancy, but they'll always have the necessities.
Even if it feels too hard at first, keep gathering experience. Before you know it, some things will become second nature to you. Welcome to my station. It's quiet at the moment, but it can get a little too busy around here sometimes. I felt so overwhelmed when my folks took me on my first few hunts. I'm glad I didn't give up. I reckon it's sort of a hangout for our community. We even have board game nights sometimes. Anyway, your cabin's ready. I've prepared everything for you.